You're probably wondering why I'm here. I don't know if I told you on the phone yesterday, but American Income is the company that takes care of the benefits for police, firefighters, and veterans. Now, your brother has been in the union for a number of years, and because he's in good standing, he's able to extend all of those permanent benefits to you. Now, do you know the difference between temporary and permanent benefits? Well, we all get great benefits through our job. But when we leave, change careers, or retire, they all go away. So, if you qualify, the union will set up permanent ones that'll fill in the gaps that you don't already get through work. So, if you do leave your job or retire, you get to take those benefits with you and they're not going to expire. But it is really tough to get in, okay? Does that make sense? Perfect. Now, I have me here for a couple of reasons. First is to explain those no-cost benefits that your brother has pre-qualified you for. And second, and the most important reason that I'm here, is to see if you can actually qualify for those permanent benefits that we were talking about. Now, I'm going to tell you, it is really hard to get in. Most people don't. When I'm finished, they ask that you fill out a report card so they know that I was here and that I did my job. Is that fair? Great. John, now that you're a policyholder, you're extending the same benefits to the people that you're closest to. People like to cover their family, like their brothers and sisters and parents and cousins and whatnot. They do have to qualify by being 21 or older. They have to live in Texas, and they have to be employed or retired, okay? Now, how many siblings do you have? 3? What was your brother's name? Your other brother's name? Your sister? Your mom? Your dad? Your aunt, uncle, cousins, best friends, co-workers, neighbors? They all lived in Texas. Alright, let's go ahead and get their phone numbers. Okay. Alright, we got all of those phone numbers. Now, John, it is very important that you let your family know what you did for them. Alright, so let's send them a text so we can fill them in. When you're done, just let me know. Make sure you do that individually because everyone hates a group text, alright? Let's start with your brother. Alright. Since I'm so busy, I will do my best to get your brother on my schedule. Now let's go ahead and give him a call so we can fill him in on what's going on, alright? I'll wait. When he answers, just tell him you're sitting with Bailey from American Income and you set him up with some benefits. And then you can put it on speaker and I'll explain the rest, okay? Alright. Hi, Bill. I'm Bailey with American Income. They take care of most of the benefits for union members, such as the firefighters, police, and veterans. I'm sitting here with your brother, and he got you qualified for some no-cost benefits. Yeah, he arranged for you to receive those. Now, my job is to get those delivered out to you and explain those. We are doing things virtually right now with everything that's going on. Do you have a laptop or a tablet? Laptop, perfect. So you're gonna want to download Zoom. All right. Now I do have an opening tonight at 6 or 8, which works best for you. 8 o'clock, great. All right, you're just gonna want to make sure that you have that Zoom downloaded, your laptop is charged, and your spouse is there with you. All right. Great. I'll see you as close as possible as 8. Have a great day. All right. John, the most important reason that I'm here, have you ever seen one of these blue folders before? These are the union's permanent benefits that I was telling you about. These are the actual benefits that union members have. They don't expire and they cover what you don't already get through work. Alright? But like I said before, it is really hard to get in. Most people don't qualify. Now, when I'm done, I'm gonna ask you a few more questions to see if you get in. Okay? American Income is the company that takes care of the permanent benefits for police, firefighters, and teachers. Their union's presidents are the actual people who endorse American Income's programs. Pretty amazing, huh? So, I don't know if you're familiar with these groups, but they have the top of the line benefits. They're one of the highest rated companies for financial strength and claims paying abilities. That just means that they pay really fast. Now, they have been taking care of union members since 1951, and they have over 17 million members enrolled in their programs. Now, do you understand why all the unions go with this company? Before I go any further, I wanted to remind you that these benefits are permanent and portable. They have a certain philosophy. That philosophy is that these benefits I'm about to show you should have been taken care of a long time ago. And if you don't already have these benefits, you need to get them now because number one, you need them. And number two, if you don't get this done now, you're probably never going to get around to doing it. All right? And just because some of the people that you know got in, it doesn't mean that you automatically do. You do have to qualify. Now, in a minute, I'm going to ask you a few more questions to see if I can even go any further. All right. Medical questions. Qualifying. Do you take any prescription medications? No. Have you ever had any health issues in your lifetime? No. That includes like hospital stays, like if you were admitted at any point. Nope. Okay. Do you use tobacco in any form? Marijuana, vapes, nicotine patches? Nope. All right. Have you ever had any arrests, including a DUI? Nope. All right. John, and what was your last name? Yeah, that was Bearstein. All right. And your birthday, that was 10/30/1976. What was your occupation? You work at a toy shop? All right. And you're male. And you have children under 18. Do you have life insurance through work? No? All right. And do you have life insurance outside of work? Nope. All right. And do you rent or own your home? Rent. All right. How much is that monthly payment? $1,200. All right. And you said you had a checking account, correct? Yep. All right. Okay. Now, John, Based on what you told me, I'm not sure if you qualify yet, but you do have a chance. I'm still going to show you these benefits. When I'm done asking you, when I'm done explaining these benefits, I'm going to ask you a few more questions to see if you are in for sure. Does that make sense? I'm going to fill out a needs analysis. Yeah, like I said, I'm going to fill out a needs analysis that's specific for your family situation. It'll take into account and make a specific program for your family, okay? Let's see. Right, I'm just filling out that analysis. All right, John, how many hours do you work a week? Have you ever heard of the hour power philosophy before? Well, it's the old union principle that states you should always set aside at least 1 hour of your wages per week to protect your family and their future. Now, I see a lot of families, and I don't know if you're like most, but a lot of people waste half of their money on things that they don't even need. People aren't setting aside even close enough for their families or for their own future. So what union members do is they set aside the first hour of their wages per week for their permanent benefit package. Okay? Now, the reason that they do that is because it never changes their lifestyle. Does that make sense? Because when you work one less hour a week, you don't really notice the difference in your pay, do you? You're just going to spend it on something that you don't even need. So, from this point forward, if you qualify, 39 hours a week will go towards whatever, and 1 hour will go towards your permanent benefits. Does that make sense? Great. Alright. So, I'm going to show you what setting aside the first hour of your wages per week can do for your family. So, John, what do you make an hour? 20? Alright. Mary, what do you make an hour? 20? Alright, as you can see, union members make from $20 to $100 an hour. Most families do 40 to 60. I'm going to show you what setting aside 40 can do for your family. Now, you can do more, just as long as you set aside that 1 hour a week, you will be okay. Alright, does that make sense? Perfect. John, I'm going to show you those permanent benefits now. If you have any questions along the way, stop me, because this isn't something that we're going to get to do later, alright? After I'm finished, they ask that you fill out a report card so they know that I was here and that I did my job. Is that fair? Perfect. Now, they're concerned with 3 major areas. That is going to be your accidental injuries, your final expenses, and your paycheck protection, alright? Now, the first area they are concerned with is your accidental injuries. Now, have you ever thought about what would happen if you were injured in an accident? Well, they realize that you have medical and workers' compensation, but where their concern is your loss of wages and those expenses that start adding up when you are injured. All right? When you end up in the hospital, they realize that your medical bills are being paid for, but no one's paying you to be there, okay? So, Mary or John, when you get that phone call, that something happens to either of you, you're gonna want to be by each other's side. Obviously, you're not gonna be working, and God forbid anything happens to the children, then no one's gonna be working, right? Now, John, if you, Mary, or any of the kids have to go to the ER because you got hurt, they're going to send you $150 just for taking the time to get that injury looked at. And that's for any injury, whether you scrape your knee or you need stitches on or off the job. Alright? And that money comes here to you at home. Now, the only exception to that is when you have to stay overnight in the hospital, John. Then they're going to send your family $600. $600. I apologize. $300 every night for up to 1 full year, okay? Now, you get in a bad car wreck. You're in the hospital for a week. They're going to send your family that $2,100. Do you think that's going to help your family? Of course it will. Now, the only exception to that is when you have to stay overnight in intensive care. Then they're going to send your family $600 every day for up to 2 full weeks, okay? Now, the reason why it's $4,200 a week is because usually when you have to stay in intensive care, it is a life or death situation, alright? Now, the second area they are concerned with is your final expenses. John, who's going to be responsible for your final expenses in your funeral when something happens to you? Now, have you ever had to plan a funeral? Well, the reason I ask is it's very serious. It's very serious. Someone in your family is going to have to face that funeral director face to face. Okay? And funeral directors these days, they require all or the bulk of the money up front, on the spot, before they do anything. Or at least they want to know where the money is going to be coming from. Now, did you realize that? Well, a lot of people don't. But while your family is waiting for the life insurance to come in, who's going to be taking care of things in the meantime? That's right, your family has to, right? So they're going to have to start taking money out of savings if they have it, or worse, borrow it. Does that make sense? So what they did is they set up the freedom of choice to take care of those final expenses. Now, if you qualify, both of you will receive a freedom of choice certificate that looks just like this. Alright, they call it the freedom of choice because it's good at any funeral home. And the way that this works is when something happens to you, John, Mary, she's going to go down to the funeral home and she's going to be face to face with that funeral director, right? And he's going to say, "I'm sorry for your loss. The funeral is going to be $12,000. How would you like to take care of that today?" And then you're going to say, "John has the freedom of choice," and then everything's going to be taken care of and paid for within 72 hours, okay? Right. So, what they did, John, is they set aside $50,000 for your final expenses and your funeral. Same for you, Mary. Alright? What's not used is going to be sent back to your beneficiary. Now, let me ask you a question. Isn't it nice to finally have this taken care of for your family? I know. It's great. Now, they also set aside $10,000 for your children. When they reach the age of 21, it can be converted into $50,000. All right, and that's no matter their health or habits. They get to keep it for the rest of their life. Pretty nice, huh? All right. Typically, when we die before the age of 65, that's some kind of accident, right? Now, what they're going to do, if you die in an accident or if anything happens to you, John, they're going to send your family $230,000 immediately on top of that final expenses, right? So the most when we die in an accident, what is the most common accidental death? That's right, a car accident. So if you die in a car accident, they're going to send your family $260,000 on top of that $50,000. All right. Now, if you die in a common carrier, like a plane, a train, an Uber, a taxi, all right, any type of public transportation, they're gonna send your family $350,000 on top of that $50,000, John. All right, and John, so your children are covered for $30,000 for those same accidental deaths. All right, does that make sense? All right, John. So the third area they are concerned with, John, is your paycheck. Now, you're on your way home from work and you get killed in a car accident, or you pass away from a stroke or a heart attack. Is your paycheck going to keep coming in to support your family? Of course not. It vanishes just like that. Now, but taking care of the family, putting food on the table, paying bills, that all pretty much stays the same, right? So, Mary, the bills keep coming in month after month, and John's paycheck is gone, right? Now let me ask you, you do have life insurance, right? Hopefully it's 700 to 900,000. Well, the company realizes that all of the union members have life insurance. But here's what happens in a typical situation. When you die, John, your family's going to have to start dipping into those lump sums first to pay for funeral reimbursements and miscellaneous expenses. And then because your paychecks have stopped coming in, they have to start dipping into those savings to pay for bills and to put food on the table. Then a year or two later, what happens to the money then? That's right, it's gone. It's just like $100 bill. What happens when you break it? It's gone, right? So, John, this is your paycheck protection or your readjustment income. Now, John, when something happens to you, they're gonna start sending a paycheck the very next month and every month after that. All right, for up to 1 full year. Now, the reason that they chose a year, John, is because it's a decent amount of time for your family to adjust. A couple of months just isn't enough time, is it? No. Does that make sense? So, John, what they're going to do in your case, they're going to start sending Mary $1,243 every month for 4 years, all right? Mary, when something happens to John and they send that check to your family every month, do you think that'll be enough time for your family to adjust? Of course it will. Now, Mary, you'll be in the position to take that money that you receive when that does happen and invest it in your family's future, your children's education, and your retirement. Does that make sense? Now, Mary, when something happens to you, John will receive $1,243 for 4 years. Do you think that'll help the family out when something happens to you? Of course it will. Now, John, people enroll in this program not only because of the benefits and everything is enrolled in one, but because it has an emergency fund. So after 3 years, if things ever get tight financially, there will be money to pay for your program, so you don't have to worry about losing it, okay? Now, there's also paid up benefits. So when you retire, you can stop contributing to the program and keep those reduced paid up final expense benefits for the rest of your life. Pretty nice, huh? Now, there is also a terminal illness rider. If you get diagnosed with 12 months or less to live, they're going to send your family $54,833 up front, and then they're going to send the other half. That's the $109,667 after you pass. Oh wait, blah. The gist. Okay. They also have the strike and layoff protection. So if you do go on strike, they will pay for your contribution for up to 12 months, John. And then they also have the layoff, and that will pay for your contribution for up to 3 months, John. Okay? This is very important. Because when you're not working, you don't have to worry about losing your benefits. All right? Pretty cool, huh? John, most importantly, is the benefits guaranteed. They're guaranteed and they're non-cancelable. So once they let you in, it doesn't matter what happens to your health, your age, or your habits. They can never be these benefits can never be taken away from you. Does that make sense? Now, this is very important. So John, now that I've showed you what setting aside 1 hour of your paycheck can do for your family, let's go ahead and review that. All those benefits that I just showed you. Okay? So accidental injuries is to help put food on the table and pay for bills. Right? And then your freedom of choice is here to pay for your final expenses and your funeral. And then there's also additional money if you die in an accident. And then your paycheck protection is there to help put food on the table, pay bills while you're waiting for that insurance money to come in. Okay? Now, these are your protections on the side. So you don't have to worry about losing your benefits if money gets tight, if you retire, if you get sick, or if you go on strike or get laid off. These benefits are guaranteed no matter your health, age, or habits. They're yours for the rest of your life. Okay? So, John, they set their benefits up. like a payroll deduction once a month from your own checking. This is important because when you change careers or retire, you don't have to worry about losing that money, those benefits, because they're under your control, not your employer's. Pretty cool, right? Now, John, everyone dies. We don't have a choice. So the union's motto is to get this taken care of while you're young, healthy, and it's affordable. Because if you don't, your family will have to. All right? Does that make sense? Now, the most important question that I have, John, when something happens to you, say in a bad car wreck, there is going to be a little money left over. Who do you want that to go to? Oh, hold on. Sorry, John, I clicked the wrong button. I'm going to show you. All right, that's going to be 370,000, and then 1,243 every month for 4 years. What was the beneficiary's name? Mary. All right, so that's going to go to Mary. Now, it doesn't make a difference to the union which program you choose. Most go with the program that I showed them, which is the $40 a week. A lot of people ask if they can do more because they waste so much money. So they set aside $80 a week, and that doubles their benefits. Now, some ask to start with the program that I showed them and to add to it later. So, John and Mary, if you qualify, which program do you want? The 40? All right. Great. Now, John, I don't know if you were qualified yet. We do have to go over the medical questions. If you pass, then you should be qualified, all right? Then I'm going to go over the benefits again, and that should take about 20 to 30 minutes. All right? Perfect.